My name's Cam Chang. I'm Ross Houston's head coach. We're all ready for Saturday. This is the best shape that Ross has been in. Dalby is a worthy opponent, but we're ready to finish him on Saturday.
Been doing this stuff for the best part of 10 years. Getting hit in the head, weight cuts, whatever. Sacrifices. And you know, it's a big fight for me. And I've got another man standing in my way, man, so I take that personally. With nothing against him, as in that, but it's just he's in my way, man, so he's going to get taken out. Saturday night.
Just reflect on the last performance, yeah.
Finishing my last fight in that way I did with that monster left hook, which I didn't even realise I used until I saw the replay. That was incredible, especially with the home crowd.
Well, it's never fun, but I've had worse. I think when I fought Darren Till, I had a 10 kilo cut, and this is just an 8 kilo one, so those 2 kilos make a huge difference. Super. Actually, feel pretty decent compared to last time.
So look, Nick. Let's give you an angle in the heel.
Det er største landet.
I'm all about positive mindset. Everything has to be perfect. But you know what? That last fight was far from perfect. I didn't mention anything before the fight because I don't want to plant any. You know, when people say before a fight, they're like, "Oh, this has happened, that's happened." I see it as weakness, man, because they're setting up an excuse to prove they lose. But there's a lot of shit going wrong that fight camp. Bad injuries. You know what? So if it wasn't for a title fight, I probably would have pulled out. But it was a Cage Warriors title, you know, big promotion like Cage Warriors, so we went ahead with it. And my biggest win on paper, but my worst performance. His performance was shocking, man. You're getting hit too much, not light on the toes, man. So this camp's gone perfect, man. I've been training hard for about, for people watching. Training for about 16 weeks for this fight, you know. Prepping for a few UFC pullouts that didn't come through. They wanted me to go and defend in Copenhagen. I was like, nah, I've got the belt, man. We'll do it in neutral territory around Scotland. So here we are, man. I'm ready, no injuries, best shape of my life. I'm confident, 100%. There's not a doubt in my mind about the results Saturday night. I'm going to get the hand raised. You know, too good for this guy, too strong, too big, too fast, too fit. So, you know, he's gonna know early on, man, that he's already fit. I don't care about the UFC label, this and that. Who he's beat, who he's lost against, who he's drawn against. It just is what it is, man. Someone's in my way, they're getting taken out.
Det kan være, du ikke kan mærke det så meget, men bare det, der
So it's a simple process to dehydrate him. So we basically gotta make him warm, but the caveat is that we cannot have him overheat his brain. So we have to balance between raising his body core temperature and keeping his brain cool. And this is basically what we do. So we're gonna give him a couple of baths tonight and no more than 2 tomorrow. So it's gonna be 4 total, and then he'll drop 8.5 kilos. And then the real interesting thing happens after weigh-ins tomorrow, when we have to rehydrate him and put both a lot of glucose and a lot of salts and minerals and everything back into his system. This is also a critical portion of it, because if you do it wrong, you can end up dehydrating him even more, or we can end up just everything basically going to waste and the fluid will get stuck subcutaneously underneath his skin, and we don't want that either. So we want the fluid back into his muscles, we want the sugar, and we want the minerals and the salts and everything. So that's more or less the tricky part to doing that right. So So that's basically how it's going to go.
Why is it that we want to keep my brain cool? Exactly.
Yeah. So the thing is that what's really being stressed, of course, his physiology is under tremendous stress right now, but that can recover quite fast. It'll easily recover in 24 hours. The problem is if his brain and his central nervous system overheats, that can take way longer for it to recover fully. So basically, it's the same as getting heat stroke, and that can take days to get past. A severe heat stroke with dehydration, 5 to 7 days to recover from that. So we got to make sure that his central nervous system is fully operational. And at the same time, his central nervous system relies heavily on micronutrients. That means basically all the minerals that he's been depleting for the past week. So potassium, magnesium, and zinc, and all these things, they're depleted right now. So that makes his nervous system even more vulnerable. So we gotta pay attention to so that's why he has ice on his forehead, and that's why we make sure we have ice whenever we do these weight cuts. So it may seem counterintuitive to raise his body temperature but cooling him down in another place, but it's so important. And we switch between his forehead and the back of his head. Yeah, so cooling his cerebellum, that's a part of the brain that controls motor control, which is tremendously important when he has to be coordinated. So you'll see when people overheat, they'll lose coordination. That's because the big part of the cerebellum is overheating, and we want to make that cool as well. So,
you know what? I feel confident. I've been doing this for, I've been involved in combat sports for about 8-9 years now, and it's built up to this moment. So, this is where I've trained to be. So Saturday night, I'm just going to have fun and enjoy the experience more than anything. I'm 100% confident I'm going to get the win. It might come across cocky, I don't really care what people think. That's just my own self-belief. I train hard and I'm confident, but you know what? First and foremost, I'm going to enjoy Saturday night, have some fun, man, and do the business. That's what we train for, man. Don't see any reason to get nervous, People talk about getting nervous and all that, but this is what no one's forcing me to do this. This is all by my own free choice. I choose to train this sport. I choose to do this sport. So why should I be nervous, man? This is where I want to be. I'm comfortable in the cage, under the camera, under the big lights. That's where I shine. On Saturday night, we're going to see that.
That's a Tommy t-shirt, yeah.
And the walkout top is. I think it's. Is it in a classic?
That's your walkout top, yeah.
Yeah. Fine. You like it? They're for sale online if you want one.
Sure, you can get one for free.
We'll give them 5% discount.
I wouldn't expect that, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'd expect that more.
White.
White. That thing. White's Tommy.
Fred away. You quite like the stitching on it.
No, that's alright, mate. I'm just looking like.
Okay. Do you want to try the one?
No, that's alright. I don't even try it on, mate, really. Oh.
That definitely helped.
Looks really good. So 4.9 pounds in 45 minutes. We're ahead of schedule.
That must mean like the way I prepared my body, from what you the directions you gave me, it paid off.
And I think also
Like my body is prepared to just let go of.
Get rid of everything. That's one thing, and also because you've been resting and recovering well, you've done the float tank, you feel like you've been rested. So mentally this matters a lot, because if the mind is stressed, the body will do anything to keep on to any extra weight. Yeah. So it's a mental and physical balance that has to be there, and it seems like it's all coming together really nicely for this one.
Good. When I started cutting weight in the bathtub, the first time I did it, I was, we were just guessing. So just filled the tub up, stayed in for 40 minutes, and I lost, how much was that in 40 minutes? No, I think it was actually 30 minutes. And I lost 4.2 kilos, so that's in pounds, how much?
Yeah, it's like 8.5 or something like that.